So as far as the Patriot movement, and that's what LWN is, we are part of many patriots out there searching for the truth and delivering the news like it should be delivered. All right. Hello, America, and hello, World Patriots. It is Monday, August the 29th, 2022. How's everybody doing tonight? Glad and so excited to be back with you guys. So much to talk about. So much that's in the news. Some updates I want to give you guys. Just a lot happening. I had a great conversation today with Jeff B a couple of times. And there's a couple things that I want to talk about. And the title, what's going on with Putin and the 1.15 million troops that he's calling up, and Orange Man demanding retribution. I think that's the biggest news of tonight, and we will talk about it later in the show. So welcome to LWN. We are streaming on LWN and LWN Channel 2. For those of you who are over there on Channel 2, we just got that channel back in the last couple of days. So I just want to let you guys know I can't take any more chances on that channel. So if you guys are over there on Channel 2, please come over here to LWN and subscribe, because I will be turning that channel off here after the updates in the next 5 to 7 minutes. So if you guys are over there on Channel 2, you're going to want to hop over here on LWN. So anyway, a lot that happened in Missouri, a lot of great things. I know that there was some huge letdowns with us not being able to live stream the event. Really, I took the first day as just education. I was really just trying to absorb everything that was going on. First time I'd ever been there, and we met some amazing people. Just had a really hard time live streaming because of the Wi-Fi. And so I think we fixed that for the next event that we're going to go to here September 16th and 17th. And I apologize for that, guys. I know that we talked about it. Missouri was not a big nothing burger. I know that comment's been going around. There was so much information coming out of Missouri. It really was hard to kind of discern everything and just really chew on it and get through it. So we're going to talk about that tonight. I know that we said that we'd live stream the meet and greet that we had, which we did have a meet and greet on the 19th. Two wonderful couples showed up. I just didn't feel at that time that we were going to live stream that. It just, I just wanted to spend some time with them and get to know them. So we went out to dinner, but had a great time. So thank you to Fred and his lovely wife, and thank you guys for all showing up. It was just a great time. So the things that happened there in Missouri really is mind blowing. What we got to see in Missouri was patriots, Americans, just like you, just like me, that after the symposium decided that they were going to go back to their home states and they were going to put boots on the ground and they were going to go out there and find the truth. And find the truth, did they? They really brought a lot of information to the Mike Lindell event, the Truth Summit. And without a doubt, the facts that they showed, where they went into their counties and they got the number of people who registered to fill out those papers. I got to be careful what I say here. I definitely don't want to get taken off again. So they took the number of people who actually signed up to put out to fill out those papers that they did that November night, and then they put that against how many of those papers actually showed up, and they could definitely show you the difference in numbers, county after county after county. And folks, this didn't happen just in the 5 swing states. This happened in every county across America. This was a massive, massive deal, and they proved it. They proved it over and over again. So after we got to meet those people, we started doing some live interviews out in the foyer, and met so many of them. Got to do a lot of interviews. Alan is working really hard on putting those up on Rumble. There's multiple videos up on Rumble, interviews that we did LWN there, and I just want to let you guys know, if you haven't seen those interviews yet, they're truly amazing, and I cannot and I will not play them here on YouTube, because it is definitely something that they will censor us and take us down. So just wanted to let you guys know, if you haven't seen some of those videos, that's where they're all at. The mods can drop the links there for you guys. You can jump over to Rumble, like, subscribe, share those videos out. A lot of good information. So with that being said, had the opportunity to meet a lot of wonderful influencers and different people around the country that are in this fight together with us. I believe I'm scheduled, and I'll get you more information before Friday, but I'm scheduled to be on Cincinnati radio waves Friday afternoon at 3 p.m. So anybody who's in the Cincinnati area, I will be on the radio there with a wonderful lady, Catherine. And so we're going to do a show with her on her radio channel, and I'll have her over here. We've got a huge lineup of many personalities, many different patriots that we're going to bring on the show in the coming days. I'm going to try to schedule one or two of them for this week. And we're just moving in the same direction, but we're going to be a little more focused on some of the things that I want to do, and some of the places that I want to go, and some of the places that I want to see. And so, with that being said, there's going to be some changes here at LWN, some major changes, and we are also going to take a look at bringing back some of the things that we used to do. I won't say more than that, but I think you guys will be excited with some of that stuff that we're going to bring back and do. Thank you guys for all the love and support throughout the whole thing. Yes, I did have car trouble on the way back. If you guys are over there on channel 2, I'm just giving you a heads up. We got about 2 minutes, and I'm going to kill that channel 2 over there. So if you guys want to join us over here at Liberty Warrior Nation, LWN, please do so, because I'm going to kill channel 2 here in a minute, and preserve that channel. So I'm telling you guys, buckle up. It's going to be an amazing journey that we're going to all go on together through the coming months. The coming year, 2023, is going to be just the craziest thing I think we've all are going to see, and I think it's really going to start here in the next few weeks. I mean, the statement that Trump put out today, the things that are going on off of the Joe Rogan show, um, the Hunter Biden movie that's coming out now, it's in the news as well. I'm telling you guys, there is some very odd and strange things that we see happening over and over again, and it just doesn't add up. And I think it's all about to come to a head. And so, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and kill channel 2. If you guys want to jump over here on channel LWN with us, please do so. We've dropped the link in chat. I just want to save channel 2, so I'm going to kill it. All right. Hopefully that works. Let me hit the refresh. Okay. Sorry if you guys were over there on channel 2, but we got to be over here. Okay, so here we go. Let's talk about the Truth Summit and what was put out. So not only did these states bring the information to the doorstep of the Truth Summit there in Missouri, and what they found, all the inconsistencies across the country in every county here in America. Um, the main focus of that Truth Summit was to get rid of the machines, plain and simple, 100%. They didn't talk about Orange Man coming back. They didn't talk about white hats, black hats, or any of that stuff. The main focus of what happened there in Missouri was the fact that the machines played such a massive, massive part in what happened not only in 2020, but the same thing that happened in 2016, the things that happened in 2018. Um, and it's Mike Lindell's mission, I guess you would call it. It's his mission to make sure that we never use those machines again. And let me be clear. I don't disagree with Mike Lindell's deal that he wants to eliminate um, all of those machines. And I think there is a few counties in Arizona, if I'm not mistaken, that are now no longer going to use those machines in their states. So it's up to us, America. It's up to us to have our voices heard, to get involved at our local level, to roll up our sleeves and go to work. And it was really refreshing to meet a lot of average Joe Americans right there at that Truth Summit that did exactly that. They decided that they were going to get involved in their local elections, and they went in and they really made their voices be heard, and they did all of the footwork. They went out and they did the hard work. They pulled the numbers. They cross-referenced, and they just really did a fabulous job in finding the truth. And so I support Mike Lindell 100%. I believe that that he is going to make that major difference here in this country, and we need to support him 100%. So that's pretty much in the nutshell what went on in Missouri. And as I start having these influencers and these special guests come on the show in the coming days, the coming weeks, we'll go into more depth of that in each individual state. I think you guys are really going to find it interesting what they found out. A lot of these patriots actually figured out ways that they can go in there and really stir things up. One of them, individual Larry from Nebraska, actually figured out how to remove the GOP and the GOP rhinos in the state of Nebraska, and he's going to share that information with us. It is in the interview on Rumble if you guys want to catch that. So let's hit some of the headlines. I'm getting text messages blowing up right now. Let me read this real quick. It's pretty big deal. The fired agent who was just escorted out of the FBI headquarters is the person who got the FBI to do the raid on the home, Mar-a-Lago, that has stirred the world and created anger and hostility toward the FBI and the DOJ, the likes of which have perhaps never been seen in our country before. The special agent in charge of the unprecedented, unnecessary raid and breaking in of Mar-a-Lago, who concealed the partisan nature of evidence to secure the FBI's approval to open an investigation into the 45th president in the first place, was also involved in the hiding and suppressing from the public and the media the laptop from hell, which did make a huge difference in 2020. That's all I'm going to say. I can't read any further than that. Thanks, Jeff B, for sending that. So there you have it. Lots of things starting to unfold. Let's talk about a couple of things that I pulled up tonight. One of them, I'm gonna take you guys in this article on another perspective from somebody who actually used to work for Donald Trump. Now, I understand it's going to make a lot of you angry. You're going to get upset about what I'm about to read. I don't believe any of it, just to be clear. Remember, this is just one person, and their job is to put out propaganda. Their job is to put out disinformation. So let me read this headline for you guys. Michael Cohen, Trump won't run in 2024. Why? He does not want to go up against Liz Cheney. Now, when I first saw this headline, I started laughing. I thought it was absolutely hilarious because what an idiot. That's all I can say. Former lawyer to President Donald Trump, Michael Cohen, said Monday on Sirius XM's Morning with Zerlin that Trump will not run for a second term because he does not want to go up against Representative Liz Cheney, the Republican from Wyoming, who was just basically escorted out of the state of Wyoming and lost her seat because Wyoming is fed up with her. So now you have Liz Cheney, who is making statements that if Trump runs in 2024, which still a lot of speculation if we're even going to have 2024. There's still a lot of speculation if we're even going to have a 2022. Okay, and we're going to get to that toward the end of the show. But she's making statement now that if Trump runs, she's going to run. So you just lost your seat in Wyoming because, one, you're worse than a rhino. You're actually a Democrat, a liberal Democrat running as a Republican, and nobody wants you. So now you think you're going to actually run against former President Donald Trump, just hypothetically, if there was a race in 2024, okay? And you actually think that you're going to gain support with the 80 million plus Trump supporters, you actually think you're going to get support and win the nomination for the Republican Party. Well, let's listen to what he had to say. Cohen said, I don't believe Trump is going to run first. First of all, he knows he can't win the general election statistically. He has a fragile ego, and it will not allow him to be a two-time loser. I just want to be clear about that. End quote from Cohen. I don't believe he's going to run. And first of all, he can't win. Listen, he not only won in 2016, he won a second time, right? He continued to say, second, I believe that in fact, if he runs, he's not just going to get the nomination for the Republican Party by the NNC. There are going to be plenty of people that are going to challenge him, and rightfully so, end quote. Cohen added, quote, he does not want to run against, like, for example, Liz Cheney. She already stated if he runs, I'm running too. And then there's so many others that you want to, like Ron DeSantis. He's already lost in a poll to Ron DeSantis, who I think is possible. Quality even greater than the threat of this democracy than even Donald. First of all, he's smarter than Donald, and I think he's even more sinister. End quote from Cohen. So I know I took you there, and I know you guys get upset about hearing that kind of information. But I just want to let you guys know there's nothing to fear there. That's just one person making his opinion known. He's putting it out there. And honestly, there's probably a reason why he doesn't work for Trump anymore. There's probably a good reason why he is spouting out at the mouth right now. So just want to let you guys know that was surfacing in the headlines this evening. And I just found it hilarious that this is actually going on. So let's talk about something else. Now, this is all leading up to the things that I'm going to talk about toward the end of the show. I found this very interesting. We're really watching this stuff at LWN. We keep putting it out there, but this is a pretty big deal. 59% believe Joe Biden should release a cognitive test. Now, why am I bringing this up? I'm bringing this up because we see the decline and whatever you want to call him. You can call him the president, you can call him the resident, you can call him a clone, you can call him an actor. I don't really care what you want to label the guy, but you can definitely tell something is completely off. Is it his mental capacity that is off? If it's the real Joe Biden, is it not the real Joe Biden and somebody's playing the part? I have no idea. But what I want to make clear to you tonight is 59% of voters believe that President Joe Biden should take and release a cognitive test, according to the McLaughlin and Associates polling published on Friday. Now, that is a pretty big number of the country. Of course, it's just a poll. They go out and they talk to a few thousand people, and then they do their percentages and all that. But 59% of the country, that's over half the country, that believes that something is definitely off with Joe Biden. The poll asked, do you think Joe Biden should take a cognitive health test and release it publicly? 59% said that the president should release a cognitive test, while only 30% said he should not. 11% declined to answer the question. So 11%, even if you just take, say 40% of that, and that would be another 3%, and tack that onto the 59%, you're well over 60% of the country believe that something is up with Joe Biden. Something big. And a lot of stuff out there swirling around about what's going on in our country. The conversation that Jeff and I had tonight was Joe Biden is standing in the middle of his house, and the house is on fire, collapsing around him, and the guy's on vacation. He just came off of another vacation. This guy has gone on more vacations than any other president, and he has the worst record on everything that he has touched. He has the worst economy. He has the worst southern border policies. He has the worst policies of everything. And he keeps going on vacations while the country keeps getting worse and worse and worse. What's going on? What are they not telling us? And then you've got Hills Up Kamala Harris, who sits on the council of the space program for NASA. What does she know about space besides maybe the space between her ears, which is empty? What does she honestly know about space and science? Why is she sitting on that type of panel? Because the article talked about her having another huge loss, another winless record for not only Hills Up Kamala Harris, but the entire Biden administration. 59%. Let's talk about the next one. So this ties into the stuff that I'm going to talk about, the Orange Man. This was a huge bombshell that just came out last week, a few days ago, actually. I want to talk about Joe Rogan and his show, his podcast. For some reason, Joe Rogan seems to have gone beast mode and really calling a spade and just really making people be held accountable on his show. And kudos to Joe Rogan. The curious silence on Facebook when CEO Mark Zuckerberg appeared on the world's top podcast. Facebook founder and CEO Mark Zuckerberg first appearance on Joe Rogan Experience, the most listened to podcast in the world. Let me repeat that because I think this is very important information. Joe Rogan's Experience is the most listened to podcast in the world. And this information is going out across the airwaves on his podcast. It contained a number of bombshell revelations, foremost among them that the FBI was involved in the suppression of the Hunter Biden laptop. Yeah, I know this has been circling the news, but I wanted to talk about it. I think it's very, very important because I think there are things that are happening behind the scenes that we're just totally unaware of, but they start leaking little bits and pieces of this type of information. In the hours following the release of the interview, according to the data from social media analytics service Newswhip, the story with the highest velocity on Facebook was a puff piece for Business Insider about Zuckerberg's wife, Priscilla Chan, and even that got relatively little engagement compared to other unrelated stories that were trending on the platform at the same time. As Breitbart News previously reported, Zuckerberg confirmed in his interview that the FBI warned Facebook of an intimate Russian propaganda dump before the New York Times Post published its first stories on Hunter Biden's laptop from hell, which were swiftly suppressed by Facebook and Twitter. Now, let's talk about this for a minute. I listened to part of the interview, and I heard Zuckerberg say over and over and over again, yes, that's the information that we received from the FBI, but we still allow people to share it. That is a bold-faced lie. That is an absolute lie. Remember how fact checkers came about? Remember when you guys would post something like that on Facebook and you'd get one of those alerts? I got thousands of them where it'd say, well, our fact checkers checked your information and we find it misleading or misinformation or disinformation, or it goes against our community guidelines. Remember that, folks? Some of you even spent time in Facebook jail. So that's a lie. They didn't allow us to share that information. Every time that stuff came to the top of my Facebook page and I tried to reshare it, it constantly got taken down. So he's lying when he says that he allowed the information to continue to spread across Facebook. It was just less distributable. Less distributable. What does that mean? Well, he claims that it still was allowed to go out. It just wasn't the highlight stories of the day. They suppressed it. They suppressed it. I can't even believe that Zuckerberg really dropped this on the Joe Rogan platform. Like I said, it is the most popular and most listened to podcast in the world, and he dropped this bomb. The FBI, I think, basically came to some folks on our team and was like, hey, just so you know, okay, and I am quoting this, so I know it sounds dumb. It's coming straight from Zuckerberg's mouth, okay? Just so you know, like, you should be on high alert. We thought that there was a lot of Russian propaganda in the 2016 election. We have it on notice that basically there's about to be the same kind of dump that is similar to that. So just be vigilant. Shortly afterwards, the New York Post published its first article about Hunter Biden's laptop from hell. The story immediately shut down on Twitter while Facebook reduced its distribution. It's just a lot of stuff out there, folks. And this is just part of it. This is just one small little piece that is getting ready to hit big time. Sorry, folks. Technical difficulties. Just pretty crazy stuff, right? So hold on. Stick with me because I'm leading up to more information that is being put out. We're going to get to the Orange Man demanding retribution here in just a minute. And I know you guys have probably already seen some of this. So, Hunter Biden's laptop trends on Twitter ahead of My Son Hunter debut. So there are a lot of films, documentaries, information that are starting to come out, but I want to share this with you guys tonight because I found this interesting. I'm going to hop over to chat real quick because I want to see some of the answers. How many of you realize that there's more than one laptop? Put a 1 in chat if you already knew that there's more than one laptop, because I found this article very interesting tonight. I had no idea that there was more than one laptop. How many laptops do you think are in question when it comes to Hunter Biden? A lot of you. All right. Well, I didn't really know. 3 laptops. All right. There you go. That's what we're going to talk about. 3 laptops. You can't make this stuff up. Hunter Biden's laptop was trending on Twitter Monday morning ahead of My Son Hunter's film September 7th premiere. And just days after FBI did not deny it had warned Facebook of an intimate dump for so-called Russian propaganda before the story of Hunter Biden's laptop broke during 2020. I'll just leave it there. I think you guys know where I'm going with that. It was supposed to be, if you remember correctly, a big October. They were going to release that information in October before what happened in November of 2020. I got to be careful about what I say here. These guys are watching me like crazy. If they would have released that information, we already know that Orange Man won, period, hands down. But what do you think that would have done if they would have actually released that information? It would have destroyed any chance that the Democrats thought they even might have, period. On Thursday, Facebook founder and CEO Mark Zuckerberg revealed that the FBI's influence in the 2020 stuff when he appeared on Joe Rogan's Experience and said that the FBI had warned his company of an intimate dump. All right. So he's claiming that. He's putting it out there on the biggest platform in the world, basically. After that, the FBI didn't even deny that it warned Facebook about ahead of Hunter Biden's story, saying that the Bureau provided companies with foreign threat indicators, but claimed it could not ask or direct companies to take action on information received. BS. So that is a lie from the FBI. They did direct them. They did tell them what to do. Now listen to this. I found this very, very interesting. Again, so we had 59% or more that think that Joe Biden should take a cognitive test, right? Well, listen to this number. Now, 79% of Americans say former President Donald Trump would have won what happened in November of 2020 if Hunter's laptop had been known to voters, according to last week's Telecom Institute of Policy and Political Polling. 79% of America, folks. 79% of America feels that if that would have actually been released like it should have and not suppressed and not censored, that could have very well changed the outcome. Now, I believe, and all of you pretty much believe as well, it didn't matter the outcome because They could have released it. They didn't have to release it. The outcome would have been the same, which is the orange man won by a landslide. It's been proven. A landslide. But now you're starting, so here's where I'm going with this. Now you're starting to get 79% of America saying the same thing. And I just really want to put that out there tonight for you guys. That is people that 18 months ago didn't feel that way. That's people 16 months ago didn't feel that way. And now people are really starting to wake up to the fact, seeing what's going on, seeing the proof, and going, wait a minute here. Donald Trump Jr. at My Son Hunter panel. At this point, which one of our enemies doesn't have a Hunter Biden laptop? Now, here's where I'm going to go with the number 3. All right. At this point, which one of our enemies doesn't have a Hunter Biden laptop? Donald Trump Jr. asked pointedly during a discussion Thursday about the upcoming film, My Son Hunter. Trump's remarks came during a My Son Hunter panel discussion on Truth Social hosted by former California Congressman and current Truth Social CEO Devin Nunes. That also included My Son Hunter director Robert Davi, who produced or directed License to Kill, Die Hard, and The Goonies. Government Accountability Institute president, Breitbart senior contributor, and best-selling author to the book. Now, remember, I told you guys this book was going to carry some heavy weight. Red-Handed, How America Elites Get Rich Helping China Win by Peter Schweizer, who is a Breitbart editor-in-chief. Also was sitting on the panel, Alex Marlow, editor-in-chief. My Son Hunter Biden, which marks Breitbart's expansion into film distribution, was a crowd-funded project inspired by the investigating reporting of Peter Schweizer and Breitbart News about the Biden family corruption, and of course the infamous laptop from hell. So again, Peter Schweizer's book that just came out a few months ago that we talked about here at LWN quite a few times. I told you guys this book was going to carry weight. It was going to push a lot of people. It was going to cause some investigations, and that's exactly what his book did. While listening to various Hunter Biden scandals, Trump mentioned the real-life video that surfaced last year from Hunter Biden's telling a prostitute in 2019 that he feared that the Russian drug dealers had stolen one of his laptops while partying in Las Vegas. The guy is actually on film with a crack pipe and prostitutes talking about how Russian mobs have his laptop, because at this point, which one of our enemies doesn't have a Hunter Biden laptop? Trump made a comment. I mean, how many times does this guy have to make these kinds of mistakes before something is done about it? I just don't understand. Why is this guy not in handcuffs? Why is a lot of these people not in handcuffs right now? My understanding is there are 3 laptops that Hunter Biden has misplaced, Schweitzer said. And of course, this leads to a lot of speculation. Is he intentionally leaving these things behind? I mean, we have no way of knowing, end quote from Peter Schweitzer. So first we have the infamous laptop from hell. So that's computer number 1. The second, there was a laptop Hunter refurbished in the video of 2019 obtained by the Daily Mail, in which he told the prostitute that he thinks the drug dealers from Russia has that laptop. So the Daily Mail got one of the laptops. And finally, there was a laptop that Hunter had left with his therapist in the office in Newburyport, Bridgeport, Massachusetts, that was obtained by federal authorities when the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency, the DEA, raided the doctor's office on unrelated matters. So that's the 3 laptops that I'm talking about tonight. And so many people have their hands on them. So again, my frustration is, why is this guy not in handcuffs? Why is he riding around on Air Force One? Why is he allowed to ride on Air Force One? Why is he allowed in the White House? It's a mess. It's a total dumpster fire. We're watching the fall of all this happen right here. All right, last 2 things I want to cover. Let's get down to it. Let's talk about the Orange Man, and then we're going to flip over to Putin. This is big news that came out tonight. It's in Breitbart if you guys want to catch it. I really got to be careful and cautious about the words that I use. I'm more than likely going to have to start going back and deleting and wiping clean all the other channels, because these guys are going back and dinging me for stuff that we put out 6 months ago. So don't be shocked if a lot of the videos start getting taken down. It's me, not YouTube. I got to try to protect the channels because they just constantly going back and really trying to find anything they can, which is ridiculous. Orange Man, listen to this. This is some pretty big news. Does anything come of it? I don't know. A lot of speculation, a lot of talk about it. I think it's going to really carry a lot of weight. I just told you guys that 59% of America wants a cognitive test on Joe Biden. I just told you that 79% of America feels like if that story hadn't have been suppressed about the laptop, it could have really changed things in 2020. Now listen to this. Donald Trump, declare me rightful winner or redo 2020. And I can't use some of the words that are in the headlines. He just made that statement today. Let me repeat. Donald Trump, declare me rightful winner or redo 2020. Now, is it possible to redo 2020? I don't know. Is there going to be a 2022? I think that's very questionable at this point, because it is proven that those things actually happened in 2020. And don't forget, there was a EO that was signed that was numbered 13848. Are they going to use that? I don't know. I can't tell you that they will or they won't. But from what I'm seeing, from what I've seen in Missouri, from what I'm seeing out there in the news with Joe Rogan and all this other stuff, you have to do something about 2020. Period. You have to do something about 2020. Let's read further into this article. President Donald Trump argued Monday that he should be declared the winner of 2020, citing all those favorite words like the F word and the E word and interference by the FBI. Former president pointed to reports that the FBI worked to bury the story about Hunter Biden's laptop on social media right before 2020. So now you have the Orange Man going full beast mode at this point. Full beast mode. I said this right after Missouri. I said, wait until Donald Trump gets a hold of the information that they're putting out at the Truth Summit. Now, I'm sure he probably already had access to all of it. I mean, he is Donald Trump. I'm sure he already had access to all that information before we even seen or heard it. But here you have all these things starting to stack up, starting to add up. Yes, September 2nd and 3rd is right around the corner. I'm well aware of that. What does that have to do with anything? I don't know yet. Is it going to play a part? Possible. I don't know. I can't say for sure it will. Will there be a November of 2022? Man, I don't know. This stuff is starting to get crazy. This was a massive F word and interference at a level never seen before in our country, Trump wrote on social media today. Trump said that the FBI purposely tried to stop him from winning that contest in that November, and he proposed two solutions. So there are two solutions that he put out there today. Buckle up, folks. I think things are about to get pretty real. I really do. Does that mean that he's coming back before 2024? Well, let's read a little bit further into this article. Here's his two solutions. Remedy, declare me rightfully the W. Or this will be the minimal solution, declare the 2020 thing compromised and have a major redo immediately. Okay, let's talk about that scenario first. So, what he's saying in that statement is if you're not going to call me the rightful winner and put me in the place that is rightfully mine, which we've been talking about now for quite a while, then he wants a redo. Is it possible to do a redo? Well, I'd like to talk to Jeff B about this, but would the military get involved at this point? Would the military get involved and we would have a secure election dealt out by the military with paper ballots? I don't know. Is it a possible solution? Is it possible? Yes, I guess at this point, what we're seeing is anything is possible, right? So that tells me right there, and this is only speculation on my part. That tells me right there that if he's calling for that, then that may, and it is only speculation, it may pose a problem for November of 2022. Just saying. Here's something else that I find very interesting that Jeff pointed out to me tonight. The fence is down around the Supreme Court. The fence is down around the Supreme Court, and Congress is in session, which I believe Congress is supposed to be out for recess right now. Is there something going on? I don't know. I just found it very odd that some of those things were pointed out to me today. Let's read a little bit further. If it is unclear how a presidential election would be declared the F word or redone through the court system, and unclear whether it would even be permissible by the Constitution. So that's in his statement. Well, I can tell you this. If they're caught cheating, then something has to happen, period. So whether the Constitution draws it out clearly, I don't know, but something has to happen. Facebook's founder and CEO Mark Zuckerberg revealed in an interview with podcaster Joe Rogan, the FBI warned his company about the Russian dump. They were put on high alert, and that the Hunter Biden laptop story broke in the days before what happened in 2020. The FBI did not deny Zuckerberg's story. Facebook censored the story as disinformation right before what happened in 2020. Although it ultimately proved to be factual, this is the quote from Zuckerberg himself. Now listen to how arrogant this guy is. Quote, yeah, I mean, it sucks. I mean, it turned out after The fact, and I mean the fact checkers looked into it, no one was able to say if it was false, right? Question mark. Zuckerberg admitted to Rogan. So basically, it had this period where it was getting less distribution. No big deal. We just played a part with the FBI, and what happened in November of 2020 altered the state of our union, and it's no big deal. No big deal. Fact checkers just made a mistake, folks. Fact checkers just made a mistake. Somebody's got to pay for this. Somebody's got to pay the price for what happened in 2020. It's all starting to come to the head. And just days before what's going to happen in November of 2022. Is there going to be a November of 2022? Is it going to be postponed? Is it going to be paused? Is something going to intercede before then? Is the Supreme Court going to step in? Lots of questions tonight. Lots of questions tonight. But there you have it. It's out there. They dropped it on Joe Rogan. They dropped it. Trump put it out on True Social today. It is all over the place. And I think it's just now going to really catch traction. 79% of America thinks that since Facebook censored the materials of Hunter Biden's laptop in 2020, it definitely changed things. It definitely, something was wrong. People realize that Joe Biden is not Joe Biden, that something is going on there. Kamala Harris makes no sense. She has no idea what's going on. This country is a complete dumpster fire because of this current administration, and it's time for justice to prevail. Let's talk about my last little tidbit here. Now, I just want to tell you guys, I don't fear this. Lots of things going on. Frankly, I'm shocked that our enemies haven't already tried multiple attacks on America, whether it be financial or whether it be really any kind of attack, whether it be power grid or anything with the current administration, which begs the question, why haven't they? Why haven't our enemies done something at this point when we got a guy called Sleepy Joe who can't walk upstairs, who crashes on his little bicycle, who now 59% of America needs to see a cognitive test, that 79% of America believes that what happened in November of 2020 was not the right thing? Why are our enemies not attacking us? Who is really in charge? The Russian president signed a decree that added 137,000 service members to the military starting next year. That's the title of this headline, but I want to read a little bit further for you guys. Now, I reported today on Headline Hits, Russia is holding military games, war games, in the east part of Russia, September 1st through September 7th. China is joining them in that. India, I can't remember all the countries, but there's some ex-Soviet Union companies. I know India is one of them as well. There was another big one that I can't remember what their name was, but they're all playing these military war games next week in Russia. This came out in the New York Times, just so you know. This was sent to me by Jeff B., but I'm reading this from the New York Times. President Vladimir Putin on Thursday ordered a sharp increase in the size of his armed forces, a reversal of years of efforts by the Kremlin to slim down a bloating military, and the latest sign that the Russian president, despite heavy battlefield losses, is bracing for a long war with Ukraine. The decree released by Mr. Putin's office and posted on the Kremlin's website raised, now listen to this, raise the target number of active duty service members by about 137,000 to 1.5 million as of January of next year. The order the government to set aside money to pay for the increase. Military analysts puzzled over how much of a sharp increase could be managed. 1.5 million service members, whether that's tank drivers, fighter jet pilots, boots on the ground, 1.5 million. That's a pretty large military. You know, Jeff made a comment earlier today. I think that Russia has a lot stronger military than what lamestream media has been telling us. It was the first time in 5 years that Mr. Putin had issued an order changing the overall headcount of the Russian armed forces. Officials offered no explanation for the move, and there was little mention of it in the state television. U.S. military officials estimate that Russia has suffered up to 80,000 casualties, including both deaths and injuries during Putin's invasion of the Ukraine. So Russia's beefing up their military. Is it to just battle the Ukraine? I don't know. I'm not a military expert. It's just something that I thought you guys should be aware of. China, Russia, and them are playing war games. We know that China and Russia was south of our border down in South America just a short month ago, doing the same thing. A lot of things to pay attention to. Our south border is a complete wreck. Arizona is now throwing up connexes to help build the wall in Arizona. Listen, folks, it's all starting to come to fruition. We're seeing it unveiled, and it's truly amazing and unbelievable what we're seeing happening right now. I want to thank you guys for joining us tonight. As I wrap this up and go into final thought again, I want to let you guys know a lot of things getting ready to change here at LWN, and we're going in the same direction. We just got a little more defined and detailed plan than we have had before. And some of these amazing people that I met in Missouri, they're going to be coming on the show in the coming days, the coming months. We're getting ready to head out to North Idaho, September 16th and 17th. That's going to be another amazing rally that we're going to go to. And then I've got plans to go to a deal in Dallas, Texas, November. I think it's November 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So a lot of things that we're going to really start being able to bring to LWN. And I'm very grateful for that, very thankful for that. And I'm glad that you guys are here joining us. Thank you to all the mods for dropping the links there in chat. If you guys haven't seen any of the interviews that we did that came out of Missouri, please jump over there to Rumble. Check it out. Some very great interviews. And Alan and I got to have a conversation. He's been working on uploading some more. So we're going to put all of the interviews that we did there in Missouri up on Rumble. If you guys can please subscribe to Rumble, like it, give us a thumbs up, and share it out. It really helps us build that platform, because honestly, when we get to some of these rallies, more than likely, we are going to have to go live from Rumble. So if you don't have Rumble yet, I just strongly encourage you guys to download that app on your phone or your device and subscribe to us, because honestly, some of the stuff that we're going to be putting out from these rallies, I cannot and I will not be able to put it on YouTube. So just kind of a heads up. We got about 2 weeks before the next one, and we're going to be able to share that with you guys. I think Alan and the team have a better idea of how to do that. And so we're going to be working on that. So a lot of information. that we're going to be putting out in the coming days. Like I said, everything that happened in Missouri, we're going to go into more detail with my special guests. That when they come on, we're going to go through the states that they live in and show you guys what happened there and what's going on. And it very well could be that some of those lives we may start off here at YouTube, and then we might have to go ahead and kick it on over to Rumble, because a lot of that information is going to be too hot for YouTube, and we just won't be able to keep it up here. So with that being said, guys, my final thought is this. Don't forget, Donald Trump said the best is yet to come. So you guys, I'll catch you tomorrow evening, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. God bless.
Hoping for a sincere performance, but open to finding the moment, to finding out where I'm headed now. Looking for a sign of disaster, so I can make it there faster. I'm weighing the consequences out. I can see in all directions. It's all open to interpretation, but I see colors that are breaking from the other side, the other side. When I make mountains out of summer trails, when I buckle under all the details, I'll keep going till I make it to the other side, the other side. Can you tell me the secret of how you can take it or leave it? How you can